live, but I'm doing this a little bit different than I've ever done before. Doing this from my phone, so hopefully it works. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know. I did a live stream from San Francisco, Half Moon Bay, about a week ago, and the audio was fine, but it had a bit of a lag to it. So I'm hoping by using my phone, it will kind of fix that lag issue, because it won't be as high resolution basically. But yeah, so let me know if you can see or hear me, all that good stuff. And I mean, come on, I started like right on time. That never happens. All right, well, I've gotten some thumbs up, so I'm assuming you guys can all hear and see me. I'm not getting any comments, which makes me think I'm probably not receiving them more than likely. They're probably coming in delayed, so bear with me on that. Yeah, there's the comments. They're starting to come in on my side, so okay. So yeah, oh, that's kind of cool. It shows it on my screen. Maybe I should do mobile more often. So if you were in the last live stream last week, definitely let me know if this is better as we get going. But if you can't tell, we are no longer at the ocean. We are at 9,000 feet, just east of Salt Lake City, up in the National Forest. I've got Lotus down here, and Enzo is right there. Yeah, you can see the views. And Pup. All right. Yep. We were outside for probably about 30-40 minutes before this started. Just kind of burning off some of the ants. This person left a comment the other day, and it was probably like the funniest comment I've ever seen. They said that basically they thought it was weird that my pups are just laying here, whereas Zach, if you don't know Zach, he does the Lucy from Australia YouTube channel, and like I'm friends with Zach. I've talked to Zach. We've had like Zoom sessions and stuff. And it was so funny because she was like, well, Lucy's always like up and about. It's like, well, yeah, that's because I purposely make them tired before I start this, because I have two, and two is too much. So I purposely make them tired before we start. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, so. Oh, we gotta say hi to Riley. Oh, we got a super stickers or chat. Hi, Riley. Riley's gotta make her opinion known as always. She's starting to become like Lotus. We'll be driving, and I'll turn the radio off and the air off so like I can film something if there's something interesting happening, and that's like her cue to start making noise. Thank you, Susan, for the super sticker. I need to figure out a way to make the lights go, but this is only our third ever live stream in the Airstream. Now that I have Starlink, I can do these more. Or hopefully anyway, so I don't know, I need to figure out like some lights or something to happen. Well, that's good. Seems to be coming in clear for everybody. Oh, jeez. Okay. Wow, I'm glad I spent all that time making it level earlier. You might see or hear some ATVs go by. So I didn't realize it was July 4th weekend coming up. Once I did, I really started researching campsites because I knew it would be busy. And we got here, what is today? Today's Saturday. I think we got here Wednesday. And I've never been to a campsite this busy. Granted, I've only been doing this for a few months. I remember Memorial Day was pretty busy where I was at, but it was a pretty small area. This is a massive area where there's campsites everywhere, roads going for miles and miles. I know yesterday I probably saw 50 plus RVs go by. It was insane. But anyway, so you'll probably see more go by, and it's apparently a big ATV area, so a lot of that going on. So yeah, I did make a few notes of some things that we could go over. Some things I wanted to kind of ask you guys and tell you guys, and then get some feedback, because I know the people that tune in for these live streams are obviously the most devoted. Let's see if we got any like comments or questions right now. Audio good, no lagging, that's good. Yep. Oh, boys, mom says hi. She's in the chat. Let's see. Oh, hello from Chicago. Chicago here too. Wow, lots of Chicago. Quick question regarding your shepherds. How do you keep their skin healthy with all the different environments? So actually, I'll get it real quick. I'll show you. So I get stuff like this. This is the first time I've had this kind because I couldn't get the kind that I normally use. I should probably hold that up longer so people can see it. You can buy this at PetSmart or Walmart or Amazon. I should probably put a link so then we can actually get credit for it. But I spray that on them every day when we go out. I will say, I can't say that this spray is as good as my old one, because with my old one, I never saw a tick on them once ever. With this one, I've only been using it for a few days, so I can't really say. Like, I did find one tick on Lotus, but I hadn't sprayed him that day. We'd just gone out real quick to go potty, and you know, we have like areas where the grass is real low, but Lotus, of course, wants to go into that grass that is as tall as him. So like I did find one crawling on him, got it off real quick. But like I said, I hadn't sprayed it that day, so. I do know the stuff that we used to use is still linked below each video if you go into the Amazon store. And then like when we come in each time, I give them a little wipe down. So that's really what I do for that sort of stuff. He's like, the ATVs and stuff don't bother him, but he doesn't exactly love it either. It's just like noise, you know, it's just, he likes things to be quiet and predictable. Oh, Rally, mom says hi to you too. She don't care. She never cares. Oh, Cameroon. That's probably going to be the winner for distance. Let's see, South Carolina. Yeah, not even close to. Is the altitude bothering you? Nope, we're at 9,000 feet. All right, say bye to mom, boys. She got to go. I haven't had any real noticeable issues. I didn't even know that was a thing until we were in Santa Fe and somebody brought it up. But no, I mean, I'm not really. Is Lotus okay with the noise from the ATV? That's what I was just talking about. There are a lot of dogs. I have, of all the RVs and stuff I saw go by, I did see several with dogs. So they're out here. Oh, Germany, giving Cameroon a run for its money. Oh, my mom and dad are in the chat too. So actually, it's rained a little bit almost every day. To the AC who asked about the drought. Since we got here, I was so unused to rain that I was so focused on finding a good safe spot for them for the holiday weekend that rain never even entered my thoughts. Because when we got up here, it rained that first night we were here. That was and it like legitimately rained, like thunder, lightning, and everything. That was the first legitimate rain that I had seen since Albuquerque, which was a couple months ago. But yeah, I mean, all the time through California, Arizona, never even entered my mind. Like I have a little mobile hotspot that I use when I'm not using Starlink, that most of the time I'll just leave it outside. When I was in California, never even thought about rain. That's how like much I did not think about it. Let's see. Yes, Enzo and Lotus are neutered. Oh, and even my sister's in the chat. Wow, there's just all kinds of people. But yeah, so let's see. Like I said, I actually tried to make a list of some things. I will give you guys an outdoor tour before it's over, so remind me at the end. But I don't want to do it now because then if I come back in, I got to wipe their paws and everything. So at the end of the live stream, I will take you guys outside. So one major benefit to this being on my phone, so I can just carry it outside and I will show you guys around. I don't know that I've necessarily posted any photos. I think I've posted some story photos on Instagram. Actually, if you watched the most recent YouTube video, there was a couple photos from this location. Destin, Florida, water's so clear. You don't have to go in the summer. I've actually been to Destin. It'd be way too hot to take the pups there right now. Maybe in the winter. So yeah, obviously Lotus is cuddling. Lotus is always a cuddle bug for sure. He's always been that way. But his anxiety has been a little bit higher. I haven't had him on the Xanax since basically we started traveling, because other than that first night in St. Louis and the Albuquerque, we really didn't run into too many storms. And then from that point on, there was obviously no rain, but now it's obviously a concern again as we head back farther east and stuff. So I will get him back on that. That is my plan. Hi from the Yukon, Canada. Ooh, Washington State. Yeah, I have thought about Washington. We're just not going to go any further north right now. The other thing I was going to do was, I kind of already did when I showed you Raleigh, but I haven't really showed you guys the Airstream. Actually, I can just kind of flip this, I think. Yeah. So, kind of give you guys like a look around. It's changed a lot. I know I don't really ever like show you guys the inside of the Airstream because frankly, it's usually a disaster. You can see Raleigh down there, bathroom, kitchen, batteries, the EcoFlow, Starlink, and then the bed. I mean, there's not really much of a tour. Oh, there goes some more ATVs. That's Raleigh's litter box, more batteries. I know when I originally did the YouTube video with the tour, I had my desk was the original table that came in the Airstream, but that was too much weight, too much space still. So I got this little IKEA desk that fits nicely. And then I just have like a child thing securing it to the wall. Everything you see like on the counters, like that basket and stuff, is all secured. So the only things, all that stuff up there that you see, that's all secured. So the only things I have to take down when we leave are like the little Sonos speaker. Obviously my camera goes with me. I set the EcoFlow on the bed, and the stuff that's on top of the EcoFlow gets put away, and that's pretty much it. I don't have to like keep putting everything away. It used to take me a long time like a couple hours to break down and set up camp. But now that I do all that stuff, I've gotten it pretty quick. I can break everything down. It depends. Like I have solar panels out right now and I have Starlink up, obviously, but not counting those two things, which don't take that long. I can break everything down in like 30 minutes now, which is nice. And that was kind of one of the benefits of what we did going up the Pacific Coast. So if you don't know, if you don't follow on Instagram, we went up the Pacific Coast most recently. Eric was in town. Eric's one of my old friends. And after he left, okay, so hold on, let me go back a little bit. So originally we were going to go up the Pacific Coast a long time ago, but obviously, as you know, Enzo got hurt. So we kind of had to stay around San Bernardino because I wanted to see the same vet. By the time that recovery period was over and I felt safe to leave again, it was almost time for Eric to come into town. So again, we stayed kind of close to San Bernardino because he was flying to LAX. Once he left, we no longer had to stay in that area. So then we headed up the Pacific Coast. We spent about 18 days going up the coast from LA through Malibu, Big Sur, all the way up to San Francisco, and then we turned east and went through Sacramento and went through the mountains up through there into Reno. That was about 18 or so days, and of those 18 days, we slept in a different spot 16 times. So I got really, you know, it was kind of one of those things that obviously I wanted to go up the coast, and when I realized that I was going to have to do that, I almost didn't go because of how much I hate setting up and taking down camp. But I was like, well, the only way I'm going to get efficient at this is if I just make myself constantly do it. So that's what I did. So aside from getting to see all those amazing locations, Raleigh, I'm now very much efficient at packing up the Airstream when we go to leave. Still not perfect. Still want to get better. Still want to get some better organization. I want to get like maybe figure out a way to put like a net up on the ceiling so I could store some things up there. But otherwise, kind of made that a huge difference. Do we have any plans to go up to Alaska? Not this time. I want to go up next year. There was 2 reasons I didn't want to go to Alaska this time around. One was this is our first year doing it, so that's a lot, honestly. The other thing was I didn't have my passport was expired. I've since realized that my passport wasn't expired, but it's just as well. Like that's a lot to go up there, and we're still like working out all the kinks of this lifestyle. So yes, I want to go to Alaska, but it's not going to be this year, and it's definitely not going to be in the winter. Hopefully no fireworks where we are. We're not looking. That is my. I'm praying for no fireworks. Yes, they are illegal in most national forests, and they are illegal here. And I believe it or not, I actually did see a park ranger go by this morning, I think. So I'm really hoping they enforce that. Utah is not like California, where there's like, if you even look at a firework, a fire breaks out. But I'm really hoping that's enforced strongly. Let's see. Well, hopefully it is just your phone and I'm not freezing up. Let's see. Michael B. If it's part of the country, I would definitely take time to visit Crater Lake. I have heard of that. I'm not exactly sure where that is. So once we leave here, we have 2 options. We can either go north into Wyoming because we're only about an hour from Wyoming. And frankly, if it wasn't for the forest roads and curving mountain roads, like we're really not far from Wyoming at all. Or we can go south because Utah has a bunch of national and state and stuff parks in the southern part, and they're all higher elevation. So I haven't decided which way I want to go. I was originally going south, but I'm still kind of contemplating going north through Wyoming. It just kind of depends. But I really want to go through like Colorado and Denver too. So I don't know. We'll probably go south through Utah, but I'm not 100% certain yet. Let's see. But yeah, so I think Crater Lake is in Utah. The issue with most of the spots we're at right now is if we want to go somewhere and just spend the day, that's fine. When we were in parts of California, that's kind of what we had to do. We'd find a park or state park or something, spend the day. That way it was nice and cool for the pups, and then we'd go somewhere else to sleep at night. So elevation is definitely a strong concern. Wow, is it seriously raining? It wasn't supposed to rain at all. I swear it rains for like 10 minutes every single day here, and Lotus does not appreciate it. I know, buddy. It's okay. Let's see. Let's see. I thought you'd take the I-80 through Sacramento to get to Utah. That's what I did. I-80. Went through Reno. By the way, Nevada, not suggested as a destination. There's like nothing to do there. We drove that entire state in one shot because there's just literally nothing. Let's see. I heard you mention Starlink. Starlink made a big difference. Absolutely. We couldn't be here without Starlink. I'm lucky if I have Verizon and AT&T, and I'm lucky if either one of them has one bar at times, most of the time. So I can't even barely iMessage off of one bar. So yeah, I mean, we definitely wouldn't be doing the live stream, and it would definitely make just being here in general harder. Let's see. Will you come back through the Northern California coast to Oregon? I do want to do that. There's just, I have to be back in Cincinnati by late August for my nephew to be born. And we were just kind of at that point where if we kept going north past San Francisco, like there really wasn't anything specific I wanted to see other than the fact that, you know, Oregon is beautiful, Washington is beautiful, but there wasn't like a specific thing I wanted to see. So it was kind of a good time to head east. And I knew I wanted to go through Salt Lake for sure. So it kind of just worked out that it was a good time to turn right. Let's see. Was that Park Ranger Smith? Haha. I don't recognize. I feel like that's some sort of reference to something in a joke, but I don't know what that's in reference to. Crater Lake, South Central Oregon. Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, Nevada is definitely desolate. Southern Central Oregon. Violet color water. That's interesting. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's all right. It's still sunny though. It's just like a few clouds. It just seems to always want to rain just a little bit. Let's see. Pup. It's okay. It's all right, buddy. Enzo does not care that it's raining. Riley does not care that it's raining. She's just looking outside. Lotus, you would think we're in the middle of a tornado. But yeah, so I know, like I said, we did the last live stream from Half Moon Bay. After that, we went to San Francisco, and we went through Sacramento. That was just brutally hot. That was like giving Arizona a run for its money. It was so bad. So we kind of just kept moving. I didn't expect to get to Utah this quickly, but it was so hot once you went east of San Francisco, and then Nevada was literally nothingness, that we ended up just kind of powering through. It actually worked out pretty well though, because we get up really early, go to like a park or something, spend a couple hours, and then they would just pass out and snooze the whole time. Let's see. Do you have any family in the Salt Lake area? Yeah, I do have a cousin who lives in Salt Lake. I did see her. We actually camped on her street one night, and I got free water and my first indoor plumbing shower in 3 months, and it was amazing. She might actually see increase in her water bill. Like, I took full advantage. It was, just loved it. Let's see. No, we have not seen any UFOs. Sorry. We did go to Cosmic Campground though. Have you watched the Campolence Chap on YouTube? No, Matt. No, I have not. Actually, somebody suggested somebody else in the last live stream. I think it was Eva Zubak, which was, I always say that name because she actually reached out to me recently because she said somebody mentioned me to her too. So that was kind of funny. But I was going to ask you guys, like, I need like some suggestions for other YouTubers that do like a similar lifestyle that we do, because it can be kind of hard to find, honestly, unless you're just going to sit there for hours going through like each channel. So if you know anybody who's doing this lifestyle and is actively like posting and stuff, like, I would definitely be interested in knowing. Or if you think of any later, you can DM me on Instagram. Hi, Enzo, Lotus, and Rally Cat from Sam. Good memories being a ranger was. Yeah, I bet being a ranger was pretty cool. I'm sorry, Arizona treated you so badly. Yeah, it it is what it is. It was my fault. And then really the only other like question or thing that I wanted to ask you all was, what content do you want? Because like the audience is definitely starting to shift a little bit. Like, I definitely see some people who just want pup stuff still. There's definitely people who are just more interested in the travel portion. But you people on the live stream are the most obsessed and the most loyal. So like, kind of just like, what do you all want to see more of? Do you want videos that are just hikes with the pups, or do you want more like the travel stuff, or kind of like, what kind of stuff do you want exactly? Just a contribution to the pistachio fund. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it. Pistachios are addicting, I've learned. Cheap RV living on YouTube has a lot of tips. Okay. Honestly, I didn't even know what an Airstream was till watching your channel. That's so funny, because one of the biggest questions I get is, why did I choose an Airstream? And it's always, why did you choose an Airstream instead of XYZ? And I always have to Google what those are, because I have no idea. Like, I didn't know what a toy hauler was, or like all these different things, and people asked and I had to look them up. I never envisioned myself doing this lifestyle. Never had any desires or anything like that. But for some reason, every time I saw an Airstream, I would always, if I was with somebody, I would always like point it out, like, oh, look, an Airstream. I don't know why. Like, I never researched them or anything. So when I thought about doing this lifestyle, it was like, well, it has to be an Airstream, even though I knew nothing about them or RVs in general. There are like, I don't know if I would say better options for traveling with pups. Obviously, I could have gotten a bigger RV for the money. That's not necessarily better though, because honestly, I didn't even want one this big. The issue with a lot of the non-Airstreams though is that they don't hold any type of value. So yes, they're cheaper to buy, but they lose so much value that it really comes down to, it's hard for me to afford some of the other ones. Honestly, as crazy as that sounds, yes, I could have technically gotten a loan and bought or whatever a cheaper one, but you lose so much money on them that like, I can't afford to lose that much money. Whereas an Airstream is going to retain much more of its value. So I think if I was to ever get something else, it would just be a slightly larger Airstream, honestly. This is 22 feet with both the pups and everything. I could see maybe going up to like 25 or 26 feet. It would be just a few more feet, enough that it might give us like a actual private bedroom or something. So like, I could have like a little room to like close off for them, especially for like the zero breeze and stuff would be nice. But honestly, it's not that big of a deal. We got a super chat from Intel Wild. Do you think you could live in the RV life solo without the dogs or cat? If you're asking like me personally, yeah, I mean, it would honestly make this life a whole lot easier. I mean, mentally, I mean, having them is both relaxing and more stressful. you know, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be so obsessed with the temperature. I probably would have stayed in California longer. Arizona wouldn't have been as big of a deal because on those days I could have just gone to a Starbucks or something and worked from there, or a library or wherever. Whereas with the pups and Raleigh, I can't do that. I'm constantly having to be mindful of their well-being. So in those regards, it would actually be a whole lot easier. But then obviously, you know, they help keep me grounded and sane and smiling and stuff. So I don't necessarily want to do it without them, but I could. Oh, Eston gave you guys, Raleigh's Biscuit Fun. Oh, for the pups and Raleigh's Biscuit Fun. Thank you, Eston. Pups are definitely number one, but you love them both, okay. Pop. It's not raining no more, you fib. That's a hi. You fib. It's not raining. Let's see, you can always add how the pups are adapting to all the stuff you do. That's a good idea. Let's see, Eva Zubek is the channel where this young woman is setting up a road trip. Yeah, so I am following her now. I do know who she is now. I just didn't know who she was before. Yeah, I did know she's up in Montana. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I definitely want to go to Montana at some point. A lot of that area, though, like I said, even being that far north, without the elevation, it's still just really hot for them. And since we tend to not go to campsites, it makes it a little bit harder. Let's see, how safe do you feel living the RV lifestyle? Generally feel pretty safe. Every new campsite can be a little, the first night or so can be a little like you're kind of filling things out. But obviously the pups have phenomenal hearing and vision and stuff, so that they make me feel a lot safer. And then I will usually, like, after we pull into a place, if there is other people around, I'll get out with them and we'll kind of walk around and stuff. So yeah, I mean, just try not to be a target for opportunity. Not that anybody's going to necessarily try to do anything, but you know, really, you just don't want to be a target for opportunity. So as far as like safety from like bears and stuff, again, I don't really have too many concerns with that. We don't usually go into like the deep woods for hiking, honestly. Like there's some crazy trails that you can go through sometimes. Sometimes we will, but even though they're snake trained and even though I have tick spray and stuff on them, they get just as much enjoyment out of going down like the main forest roads and stuff. Now, obviously this is a little bit different. It's normally not this crowded. Normally there's no cars ever where we're at, so this is a little bit unusual. But like when we first got here, the first couple nights and there was really nobody around, we would just walk for like a couple miles down these forest roads. So because of that, I can see more, less issues for bears or any other type of wild animals or anything. So yeah, generally I feel pretty safe, and Starlink definitely helps with that too. I think back to when we were in New Mexico and I drove for like 2 or 3 hours and didn't see a single person. Not a car, not a person on the side of the road, not a house, nothing. And I had no service on my cell phone. And now I think back, like, because that was actually pretty stressful. And now it's like, well, if I was ever in that situation again and I broke down, well, I mean, it'd be a little annoying, but I could just set up Starlink and then make a phone call over Wi-Fi. So that alone has made me feel a whole lot safer. We got another super chat. New England pipe smoker. You can buy a quarter tank of gas on the West Coast with this, LOL. or buy the pups a treat. I think it's funny that you think $20 would buy me a quarter tank of gas. The highest I paid when we were in California was $6.95 for the basic gas, not premium or anything, and it cost me $218 to fill up. So yeah, but I still appreciate the super chat by all means, but it's more like 1/8 of a tank. When we started going east, and we right before coming up here, I filled up for, it was I think like $5.14. I seriously felt like I was getting gas for free, because the difference, almost $2 a gallon on a truck that holds 40 gallons, that's $80-$90. That's a huge difference. That was also kind of the other reason I didn't want to keep going west, or keep going north through Northern California, is like the gas was just, it was getting brutal. Are they racing behind you? Who knows what they're doing? There's so many of them going around. And I also like the pop-up bubbles. Yep, everybody does. They're like the bane of my existence. It's like everybody loves them, but it's like, I almost wish I'd never started those, because now I can't stop because they take so long, but it's fine. I love the mix of everything. Well, that's good. All right, so it seems like people like the combinations, which is good. It's typically how I try to do it. It's 84 today in Sacramento with a lovely breeze. Well, it's 67 here, so also with a lovely breeze. And it's sunny too, which is so nice, because it's cool enough that I don't have to run any fans or any AC, and yet it's sunny enough to where I'm getting solar. So it's just phenomenal. Like, I can have everything running, all the lights, the Starlink, the internet, my computers, and I still don't need to run the generator for a couple days. Like, that's my favorite. Let's see. Author Edward Abbey wrote his book Desert Solitaire from his work as a ranger. Huh. I'll have to look into that, Eston. Yes, Utah is very beautiful. Jade the Sable German Shepherd. I feel like I've kind of heard of that one. Yeah, it's not a traveling aspect. I'd really like to find some that kind of do both. Yeah, you tell him, Eston. Definitely need to subscribe. That's funny you mentioned that, because like when I look at my analytics, I can see the percentage of people who watch my videos who are subscribers and non-subscribers. And throughout my history, it's always been pretty consistent. It was always usually about 60 to 70% were subscribers and 30% weren't. I'm seeing that shift, and I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if that means that more people are finding me, or if it means that less people who find me are subscribed. Like, I don't know what that means. So, but yeah, definitely subscribe so you don't forget about us. Go check out Zion Park. I feel like I've heard of that. I feel like that's in Utah. Pretty sure that's in Utah. Like I said, I don't plan these things. When we left, we were actually going to stay. After we dropped off Eric, my plan was to stay in San Bernardino for a week, because that's close to where Nisha lives. And the campsite that I planned to stay at, I didn't book it in advance because they always have openings. Like, it was never a concern. I really didn't think about it, though, going into peak season. So when we were dropping off Eric, I went to book it, and I realized that they didn't have the entire week. I could get a week, but there was like a day in the middle where we would have had to leave for a day and then come back. And I was like, well, if we're going to do that, we might as well just leave, period. So we ended up only staying a couple of days and just kind of winging it up the coast. We literally headed west towards LA with no plan other than I wanted to get them in the ocean. And I didn't know how I was going to do it, but we figured it out. Oh, hi, Abigail. Your pups are incredibly well trained off leash, but I was wondering if people ever give you a hard time for that. Yes, they do. Now, not so much in this lifestyle, but back when I used to go to local parks more and stuff, I would sometimes get those people that there was even this one lady, she was insane. She like came to the park from her house just to yell at me. It was so funny because she came to yell because my pups weren't on a leash. When I saw her coming, I put them in a sit in the field and I walked up to her probably like 20, 30 yards away. And the whole time she's yelling at me that I shouldn't have my pups on a leash, my pups were 20, 30 yards back just sitting there watching. And like after a while, she kept like looking, she's like, and finally she was just like, you still need to have them on a leash, and just like walked off. And I was just like, you're insane, lady. I might have filmed that. That might be in a vlog somewhere. I don't know. So, just found Linnea, and I can't even try to say that. Female living in a van with her white German Shepherd. Okay, well that's pretty similar. Traveling with German Shepherd. Okay, yes, in Utah. So, okay, Zion is in Utah. I thought it was. So wait, are you living in the Airstream alone with just you and the pups? Yes. You are clearly new, Cody, but that's okay. Yes, just me and the pups and Rally. I feel bad. Like, I feel like I'm not looking at you guys, but really I'm just looking at the comments. New state nomads. I swear I've been everywhere with 3 pups. Okay. Another good one I will check out. You finally calming down. Yeah, sometimes it takes me a while to trust that the rain is really over. Enzo doesn't care. Rally doesn't care. I don't care. Just Lotus cares. That has been like the one thing that isn't great about this campsite is that it does seem to rain every single day for just a few minutes. Which obviously, if it wasn't for him freaking out, it wouldn't be a big deal. But it's also how I know it's gonna rain. He was doing it yesterday, and it was like this. It was all sunny and everything. Suddenly, starts shaking. I was working, I had headphones in and stuff, and I'm just like, "Pup, like you're going crazy. Like I think you've actually lost it this time." And then all of a sudden, like I start seeing a few raindrops, and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Like he always knows. Well, I'm glad you liked that video, Susan. Greetings and love from New York. Hello, New York. No problem, Cody. So yeah. So what other questions do you guys have? That was pretty much what I had on the list. Like I said, the only other thing on my list is to give you guys a tour of the outside, which, like I said, I want to do that at the end. Because otherwise I have to come in and wipe their paws and stuff. And even though they are sprayed down, I still like to give them a little, still like to look them over real quick, make sure there's no ticks or anything. No, snowfall does generally not bother Lotus, no. Because usually you don't have like the wind and stuff with snowfall. Now, if we were in like a blizzard or something, that might bother him. I don't know. Thankfully, we've never had to experience that. Thank you, Marianne, for the thumbs up. Yeah, but he's calm now. He's like, he's not shaking or anything. He hasn't been shaking for a while. That's what bothers me the most. That's why I'll get him back on the Xanax. You know, it doesn't, I mean, yes, it can be mentally taxing when he wants to be on top of me like this and I'm trying to get work done. And also when he's in this mode, he just does not want to listen. I mean, yeah, if I give him a command and stuff, like, he will, but he wants to just, like, literally, like, be on my lap. And it can get dicey because I could be, like, sitting here working on my laptop and he's like, he doesn't care that my laptop's there. He wants to be on my lap, and it's like, you're gonna break my laptop. So yeah, it can be a little stressful, but really but otherwise it doesn't bother me. Like, it's fine. Like, if he needs a cuddle, it's fine. It used to bother me more when I would have to leave him at home and go places, but that's not as much of a concern now. But the shaking does. That bothers me because, that amount of stress cannot be good for, his overall health and life expectancy and stuff. So that's why I want to get him back on that. That's why we will get him back on that. Let's see. Other than the Alabama hills, what's been your favorite place so far? Definitely the ocean. I've always loved the ocean, even though I haven't been to it that many times. I've been to the ocean a few times on the East Coast, and now, really, I guess technically I've been to it more times driving up the West Coast. But it was so nice because I didn't realize, having been to the ocean on the East Coast in the summer months, as far south as Florida and as far north as New York City, it doesn't matter. It's always hot. That is not the case on the West Coast. I did not realize that. It is so nice and cool. So that was definitely, like, my favorite for sure. Yeah, I would definitely like to be able to stay there. And it didn't bother Lotus or anything. I thought one of the first times we got there, we were on the Pacific Coast Highway, and we would stay there all day, literally, like, right on the ocean. And I thought, oh, this wind or something might bother him, but no, he did not care. So, yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites so far. But I could definitely see, other than the heat with the pups, Eastern California, like the Eastern Sierra Nevada, was, like, really nice, and you're not, like, so far away. You're a couple hours from LA and stuff, so you don't necessarily feel like you're in the complete middle of nowhere. Being 2 hours away from a major city in, like, the woods, when that major city is, I don't know, like, something that's not LA, might be different. But being in the middle of nowhere, yet one of the largest cities in the country is only a couple hours away, for some reason, I think, in my mind, felt better. It's like, well, if it worst comes to worst, we're only 2 hours away from virtually everything, including the best sushi I've ever had. Not that I've had that much sushi to compare to, but it is phenomenal. So yeah, minus the heat, like, I really loved that portion. I could, did you meet up with Cabral down SoCal? No. So I meant to message Robert to, like, see about doing, like, a little collab or something. And I was waiting because I knew I was going to go up the coast, and I knew that's where he lived. But it just kind of just happened all of a sudden. It was like, well, we can't stay at this campsite any longer. What should we do? I was kind of contemplating, like, going back up to, like, the San Bernardino forest for a few days, and, like, and then finally I was just like, you know what, forget it, let's just go. And we just went up the coast, and it just kind of, so yeah, I do feel bad. It was just so unplanned, unpredictable. But yeah, I do wish that I could have met up with him for sure. So yeah, that's the only thing that kind of sucks, is that I didn't get to meet up with him. Let's see. What has been your favorite part of the journey so far? I don't know. Probably just the views, honestly. There's just so many places. Like, every time we go somewhere and I see something, and I just think, wow, like, how could you imagine something more beautiful than this? And, like, we go somewhere else, it's like, wow, that's not necessarily more beautiful, but equally as beautiful. From, like, the pitch blackness of New Mexico. New Mexico is definitely an underrated state, for sure. I had no idea, like, there was just so much cool stuff in New Mexico. we ended up spending a few weeks around the Silver City area because that's when Lotus got hurt, and that's when we were up in Cosmic Campground. That was 100% never planned, never nothing. And it was like a really nice area. And I actually did, because of going to the vet and having to go into town a few times, I actually did like interact with a few people and stuff, and like really nice people. So that was kind of cool. Let's see. Sits on my head during storms. Yeah, I'm sure Lotus would try. Any plans to come up to the Pacific Northwest? Yes, but just not this time right now. And I feel like I missed a comment about Canada too. Canada, while Canada can be cooler, there are plenty of people doing this lifestyle posting videos where it's 100 degrees there right now. So you still kind of have those issues. Really, this peak summer, the only place that you can consistently get nice 70-ish degree weather is if you get this high up or if you're next to the Pacific coast, really. Now, maybe if you go like really far into Canada or Alaska, sure, but yeah, we had a few people say that they, that live up the coast. Who said that? I missed the name. Somebody just said about meeting or Marianne or whatever. Yeah, Marianne. That was just a blur of a time, honestly. We slept, like I said, we slept at 16 different spots. We stayed at a couple Harvest Hosts. We stayed at several Walmarts. We stayed at a Crackle Barrel. We stayed at Half Moon Bay. It was just like a blur, honestly. Never knew like where we were gonna be the next day or anything. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just kind of reading up the comments, see if I missed any. I'm sure I have. They go by constantly. It's crazy too. I guess it's like people who know each other are families, but I kid you not, there's a campsite. I can kind of see them a little bit through the trees. Like I can see like some of the whiteness of their RVs and stuff. They're probably, I don't know, 100 yards or so. But with all the trees, they might as well be a million miles away, honestly. And I bet you there's 20 RVs all there. And then like we walked down that way last time, the night before, and then I swear, like we came up on this like fieldish area where you could see 3 or 4 distinct campsites, and each campsite had at least 10 to 15 different RVs in it. We're like the only ones up here by ourselves. So I never realized it was such like a big thing for like people and friends and families and stuff to get together and do this. I had no idea. They just come up in the like national forest or BLM land and do this sort of stuff. So like people, like there's the little bulletin board and stuff people will look up, and people keep posting like such and such family this way and that way and stuff. It's crazy. It's like, wow, like we're the only ones just here by ourselves, but that's okay. I don't know what you guys are talking about in the chat, like German commands or something. I don't know. Like, there's nothing wrong with that sort of stuff. And in some ways, I think it can kind of sound cool, like if you're saying commands in a different language, because then people don't know what you're saying. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. Somebody a long, long time ago was like, well, now that I know what your commands are, if I ever see you out in public, I could just tell them to come and they'll leave you. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. Some stranger comes out, you can say all the commands in the world to them, they're not going to pay any attention to you. The only thing that I do kind of wish we hadn't chosen common words is that back when we had a normal life and we were constantly around like friends and family, is I don't like people saying commands to them, especially when they were learning them, because if they didn't do it, you were supposed to enforce it. So like that was like a big thing when we would like leave them with Nisha's mom or something. It had to be like, here's a list of words you're not allowed to say. Like, well, what words should we say? Doesn't matter. Say anything else you want. Just don't say these words. So that's the only real benefit I feel like there is to goes. If you're teaching them as a puppy to sit, you can say pineapple. They don't know the difference. You know, if you tell them pineapple and you make them sit, and then you keep saying pineapple, well, to them pineapple means sit. So it really doesn't matter. All right, so we're coming up on close to an hour. So I think what we'll do is we will give you guys a little tour of the outside. If you guys want to see, they're literally snoring, both of them. Oh, did I wake you up? You snoozing? The snoozing? Oh my goodness. Riley's over there snoozing. Everybody's snoozing, but all right, we will, boys want to go outside? Oh my goodness. Hold on. What's your step? All right. Okay. Jeez. All right, we're gonna go outside. Go on though. I'll show them where we've been staying. You gonna show them? Got our solar set up. And there's Starlink. And there's the Airstream. You can see all the trees that we're surrounded by. I would say it's mostly families in general at the campsites, honestly. But we have a pretty large campsite. That's sort of kind of why I have the truck there, to make sure nobody thinks that it's okay to like come in and like share it with us. But yeah, all this shade is nice, although it's not really necessary. Like I said, it's sunny out and it's only 67 degrees. Show them anything, Chloe? But yeah, so this is our campsite. Where you going, Lotus? These are definitely my favorites. Oh, go potty, because I can come out, like I still keep an eye on them obviously, but I can come out here and like I don't feel like I have to, like when we're at Half Moon Bay, as beautiful as that was, I had to have them on a leash as soon as, before we would even walk out of the Airstream, because you just never knew who or what was gonna be around. So until we got to places that I could see for like good distances and be sure, they would stay on the leash. So like here, I don't really have to worry about somebody just being outside the Airstream when we come out. So it makes it a lot nicer. You showing them? You know? Gosh, some of these ATVs are like the size of cars. I can only imagine what those things must cost. But yeah, so this is Utah for us. We'll stay here, like I said, through the 4th at least. And then I don't know where we're gonna go, but boys want to say bye? Yeah, say bye. don't know. Like I can see the chats when they come up on mobile, but if I'm on my computer here, if I don't see them like right when they flash up, I don't know how to view them now. Oh, you see that dirt bike? All right. Say bye to everybody. Say bye. Look at the tail wags. I know. I know. I know. Wow, pup, my shirt is just full of your hair now. That's okay. All right, well, like I said, thanks to everybody who watched, and goodbye from Utah. Later. No idea how to end this, but yeah, there we go.